Are all hearing aids made the same? I asked expert audiologist Dr. Danny Gnewikow. Take a look.
Technically, anything that makes you hear better to any degree is a hearing aid. The first hearing aid was your hand. Does that really work? It really does, because it changes the cavity in which your voice is vibrating, and there's a resonant peak there which actually boosts the high frequencies a little. So when people do this and you think they're crazy, they're not crazy. It really helps. Beethoven, as you know, was severely hearing impaired, and if you visit his museum in Vienna, you will see his hearing aid. His hearing aid was a cow horn. Did it really work? It really did, because when the signal was vibrating in the cavity of the cow horn, it amplified somewhat. So technically, anything that allows you to hear better, I guess you could call a hearing aid. There are things that you've probably seen in magazines for $19.99 that will make you hear an ant brushing his teeth from 300 yards, which do make things louder. But as we've mentioned in other talks that we've had, louder is really not always better. In fact, sometimes louder is worse. Hunters sometimes are using these devices where they can put something in their ear or a set of earphones over their ear, like earmuffs, so that if they're listening to sounds in their environment from their tree stand or wherever they're hunting, and then they shoot their gun, the little amplifier will shut down. So when they're not shooting, they're able to perceive through the earphones, the headset. People use them on skeet ranges. So people that shoot trap and skeet, and they're talking to someone, and then they're going to shoot. When they shoot, it cuts it down. Is that a hearing aid? Yeah, technically it is a hearing aid to some degree. But simply making sound louder doesn't always resolve the issue. And then if someone says, well, I sent off with this thing I got in the mail, and I got this thing on my ear, and it just bothered me like crazy, and I just threw the thing away because it really didn't help me. So a hearing aid is not going to help me. Well, it was technically a hearing aid, but it was not what people need. So the difference is the higher end technologies, we can do much, much more with them. The audiologist can amplify certain frequencies more than others. The audiologist can set it so that certain levels will not be amplified past a certain point. We can use Bluetooth compatibility. We've talked about that in previous visits. We can put digital volume controls on them with just the touch of the finger. They can fine-tune it for unusual situations, although most hearing aids currently adjust themselves well enough that the average person doesn't have to really regulate it very much. So you have technologies like this that are much, much different than something that is simply an amplifier that makes everything loud. So louder is not better, and as we've mentioned also in previous visits, being able to hear what you want to hear more than what you don't want to hear is absolutely critical. And with the technology and the hearing aids that you would get from your local audiologist, most of them will have directional microphones. That is probably one of the major improvements in hearing aids over the last 10 or 15 years, because it will allow you to hear the person directly in front of you louder than other environmental sounds. So yeah, it's all some form of a hearing aid, but if you're serious about a hearing loss, you really need to see your audiologist and have something that is appropriately designed for the loss that you have and appropriately programmed. Hearing aids will never solve all the issues of communication, but hearing aids can change your life.
And speaking of over the years and the changes in hearing aids, you've been around for a lot of this as an audiologist in your practice, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been in practice since 1974, so we are probably the oldest, and I suspect the largest private audiologist group in the state of Virginia. Altogether, we have 9 audiologists, so we're quite experienced. We do a lot with hearing aids, and we talk about that a lot, but we also do infants and children and tests for balance disorders. So hearing aids is a portion of what we do, but not all of it. A good audiologist that has the capability of not only figuring out what's wrong with you and what your needs are, and has the capability and the technology to address those issues, can really do a lot for you. So you have to come into it understanding it's not going to be a perfect fix, but it certainly is a major, major improvement.
Audiology Hearing Aid Associates has 2 area locations to better serve you. Their Lynchburg location is on Langhorne Road. Their number is 434-528-4245. The other location is on Main Street in Danville. The number there is 434-799-6288. You can also find out more online at digitalhearing4u.com. and we'll be right back.